And then when they get what they want, that's it. That is the last time. That is the end of their so-called relativity and relationality with their ancestors. So
Yes. We have about let me see. We have about, I think we still have a bit of time. Let's go into the space now of Parliament. I think there's two things that I want us to have a look at. First is the space of Parliament and politicians, how it is perceived by parliamentarians, in particular the State of the Nation address, because I think that could be that event could be an event of celebrating not only on the political side, celebrating our African culture and heritage, but it has become a fashion parade of eurocentric designs. I think that's really, really sad. I'm going to need your thoughts on that. The second one is that of Karabo Kakao. I think she's the national spokesperson of the DA. I think she's a young traditional healer. I think she's about 20 years old now, 28 years old now. She studied here at Wits.
yes.
And then she really found she was dealt with harshly by her superiors after she got visited by the ancestors while she was in the meeting.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear your thoughts on those two issues.
Okay. The first issue, Parliament is very much Eurocentric. There's nothing African about Parliament. There is nothing changed. From 1994, it was just business as usual. You see by the fact that even from the language of the institution, the structure of the institution, the conduct of the institution, the policies that are adopted by the institution, as well as the spillage of the institution, because it's not just parliament, it spills to those provincial legislatures as well. So
and branches of it,
and branches of parliament. So it speaks to an old system, but that is just camouflaging as African, because look, you can come in and speak isiZulu as a president who's Umzulu in parliament, but the space itself is not accommodating to African beliefs and African traditional systems. Mandela, Mbeki, Zuma, I'll use them as examples. They each had a praise poet, a Imbogi.
Yes.
To me, that Imbongi in a space that is very colonial, it's like watching a cartoon on TV.
And changing the language
and
of
changing
that show,
the language on simulcast. You remember what they used to have,
dubbing that language.
You dub that language. So to me, the space has to change in terms of transforming it into an African space. If you are saying our only quagmire or conundrum is the fact that there are too many of us, fine, we can rotate. This month we are adopting, the indigenous setup of the Khoi, the San. This month we are transforming it into the Venda and Tsonga.
Yes.
This month we are converting it into isiXhosa and isiZulu. It can be rotational. That's just an example. But the fact that even the military observation of it all is very colonial, is very apartheid. There's nothing that actually says this is about us, this is us. And even the issues that are discussed in parliament, the manner in which they are discussed in a way that is very anti-African, even from our side.
Very dismissive of African ideology.
Very dismissive of any ideology. It's just these opulent,
fleshy,
fleshy slay queen, slay king leaders who are just there for a show and a parade. Afterwards, they go drinking and then that's it. They play golf the next day. Do you understand? How about you don't play golf? How about you have an indigenous, what do you call it, imbizo the following day and speak to your people? But you'll find that the president will play golf just after SONA. To me, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So it does not speak to us as Africans.
And there was an opportunity, sorry to cut you. There was an opportunity when the parliament got burned down.
Exactly.
So we don't know what are the processes, because that presented an opportunity to redesign that space,
redesign it
to be inclusive of African thinking and ideologies.
Exactly. It's the same thing when that library at UCT banned.
Yes.
It banned all the archives of colonial stuff, as well as the archives of our people as well, our first scholars.
Yeah.
The same thing, that you just said. We may say that perhaps it's a wake up call.
Maybe the ancestors
are saying, "Wake up!"
Are showing us fire.
We are now tired of being sidelined all the time. So until Parliament, union buildings, until our court system changes to actually look into matters the African way, then
we get rid of these Roman Dutch laws and all of those.
We need to rid ourselves of that nonsense, because it's prohibiting our people from progression in terms of indigenous language being on board, indigenous knowledge being on board, indigenous way of life being on board. We are basically Black Europeans in Africa. That's who we are.